Yeah, it was hard traveling. I enjoyed that commentary period, but the traveling was hard, man. The ankles were killing me, and many times when I would fly across the, they lived in Burbank, LA at the time, back in Boston, the common day, stuff like that. When I got on the airplane, then walking from the plane, the baggage thing was so far from me that I would stop and go in the men's bathroom just to sit down on a commode. To sit there for like 10 minutes to rest my back and find some of those places. And also it was killing me, man. I couldn't, and so this, so listen, your health. I said, yeah, I know my health. I can't tell anymore. So
It's a mutual thing.
yeah.
What happened when the doctor prescribed you steroids in 1975 for your injury?
What happened when?
In 1975, you were prescribed steroids for your injury?
For injury, 75. I don't think I've ever prescribed steroids.
Okay.
I don't think so. No. I just took them.
Do you have any dishes
Ah.
in your bedroom?
Oh my gosh.
Do you have any dishes in your bedroom? Are you filming? Are you filming?
Huh?
Right,
Did
you
you
can talk.
read something that you would
Trying to influence and in this case, let me state this. How overwhelming must the evidence have been for the jury to go against the grieving widow of the dead war veteran?
Yeah, it must be pretty overwhelming.
The evidence was overwhelming. The jury came for me. They said he was lying, this didn't happen, and were awarded.
Why do you think he did that? Did you know him?
No,
You didn't know him?
no.
I mean,
I didn't know even who he was till the thing happened. We were there on the same nights. We were at McDade.
the book American Sniper, the movie with Bradley Cooper, is a giant hit movie, very patriotic movie about a guy who was one of the most successful snipers in the United States, right? Very successful warrior, Navy SEAL, war hero. Everybody loved him. Then he goes on to open.
Because it happened during summation, where the judge allowed it in, and my attorney, it ended up 4 questions in an 11-day trial and a half a page of a 20-page summary, and it was overturned on that. And they overturned it because they felt there was undue influence on the jury, that they found out that insurance was paying for everything.
That's just one factor.
Well, and here's the deal. If the rules state that if in final argument they say something, you must object. You must object so the trial lawyer has a chance to rule during final argument, and the jury has a chance to hear the ruling. They never objected.
So they must object to undue influence because of the fact that it was.
They never objected. The jury was dismissed at 11:58. At 12:02, they then objected. The judge overruled them, and we were done with it. Well, these 2 judges, Riley and Shepard, have now overdoing.
Because of this case.
Yep.
This is such a touchy case because it's so indicative of the complications of people. Because people are not simple.
It's really
They're
very touchy. He lied.
He did lie, but
And he harmed me with his lie.
that's not what I'm saying. What's complicated is he's also the subject of this gigantic movie and this symbol of patriotism, where so many people will say, Chris Kyle, rest in peace. So many people would have, I saw a cloud that was, someone took a photo in the cloud. That's not a cloud, that's Chris Kyle. It looked like a sniper in the cloud. It's Chris Kyle guarding the skies. Like, it became a meme. I mean, he became this thing.
Both the positive and negative are on this end. It has a similar effect as the other lights, except this does charge at around 2 amps, more than twice of what these previous ones have, including that Harbor Freight. It can focus adjust due to this single center chip style. Now, realistically, I'd say this is trying to take on the past Milwaukee 2160 that we've bought previously for $70, as their newest 2162 is about $100 in 2000 lumens. Frankly, this is just entirely subjective, of course, so feel free to ignore this if you're the data-driven. Fast, or it can charge fast up to 2.5 amps. Purchases and hover around the 300 lumen mark. Yeah, we were able to confirm by light here, the DeWalt are
Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Thanks for joining me.
Where a pivot block makes contact. On the other side of the pivot block is a spacer with another slot also in contact with it. The spacer and pivot block are compressed by a large adjustable spring. Turning the handle changes the tension on the spring via a screw thread. This compression stores potential energy in the spring. When the preset torque amount is reached, the force generated by the spring on the pivot block is overcome. The energy stored in the system is released, causing the block to momentarily disengage and tilt. Simultaneously, the end of the ratchet head assembly hits the inside wall of the wrench body, producing the audible click sound. After the click, nothing prevents the user from adding additional torque. Consequently, click torque wrenches are not 100% safe from over-torquing. It is recommended to set the internal spring and prevent creep, which is a slow deformation when subjected to persistent mechanical stress. But how do you keep the handle locked during use? There's a series of grooves on the wrench body along the travel path of the handle. Hidden under the locking ring, there are 5 holes along the circumference of the handle body. There's a ball captured in each hole. The locking ring is maintained in the lock position by
It's pretty apparent that the golden age of arcades was dominated by pixels. It's pretty apparent that the golden age of arcades was dominated by pixels. In 1983, a revolutionary new type of game was released that looked less like a video game and more like a Saturday morning cartoon brought to life. Powered by Laserdisc and featuring stunning hand-drawn animation, Dragon's Lair arrived and changed the visual landscape of the arcade forever. What's up, adventurers, and welcome back to another episode of Arcade Economy, the show where we deep dive into classic arcade games to determine just how much they would have cost to beat in the year of their release. In my last episode, we took a look at Taito's Superman the Arcade game. Today, we're heading to Mordrock's castle to make our way to the Dragon's Lair. How much did it cost to guide the heroic yet clumsy Dirk the Daring to victory back in 1983? We're gonna find out.
Dragon's Lair, a fantasy adventure where you become
think this
a valiant
keeps your
knight
drink
on a quest to rescue the fair
cold?
princess from the clutches of an evil dragon.
I remember that video game. It was like a
daring
cartoon.
adventurer finding his way through the castle of a dark wizard who has infested it with treacherous monsters and obstacles. In the mysterious
For a then staggering budget of over $1 million for the animation alone, Luth Studio would hand-draw every single frame for Dragon's Lair. Dragon's Lair released into arcades in June of 1983, and the result was a pop culture atom bomb. Lines formed around the block, and kids and adults, both mesmerized by the cartoon quality, poured quarters into the machine. Dragon's Lair was a smash hit, and provided a boost to the arcade industry during the 1983 console crash.
You have
However,
that
the
game.
game was not without its issues. The Laserdisc players inside the cabinets weren't built for the constant frantic seeking that the game demanded, and so they broke down constantly.
It
And
wasn't
arcade
like a
owners
real
who paid a
game, it
premium
was
for the
like a
machines were
cartoon.
left with expensive repair fees. This didn't slow the game down though, as Dragon's
really
Lair continued to have
control
proven
it
success
like a
for years to
regular
come.
game.
Of course, with this kind of success, a
Basically
flood of
like,
ports to home computers and consoles was
watching a
inevitable.
cartoon.
But if you wanted the
could
true
decide
Dragon's Lair experience at home, you were
do
out of luck
this
for a
or
pretty
do
long
that.
time. The early
And
8-bit
then
ports were ambitious.
change
In
the
1986, home computer versions tried their best, but looked more
More
like
like
a
a real
fever
video
dream of
game
the
like
arcade
today.
game. The NES port released in 1990 was a slow, clunky, side-scrolling platformer that had almost nothing to do with the original. The pixel art was some of the best of the time, but the game itself was a bait and
Most games
switch,
back
selling
then
you on
was
a famous
2D,
name
like
and
a-
giving you a
looked
completely
like a
different
flat
and frankly
drawing.
terrible game.
But that game
Other
was
platformer adaptations
like
were
3D.
released.
Ladies and gentlemen, objective completed.
Once you turn that lamp on, you have no light.
Introducing your host, Dr. Howard Mark.
Now what do they need me for? To tell them each robot costs $11 million and it kills people? Ben, a child before
Ben.
That is why they are needing you. Now come on, hurry up. Just one dance. Well, I have to go to the jack, so be wait for me. For John. Oh yeah, you do it.
Because of this itself. This is such a touch case, and this symbol of patriotism, where so many people who say Chris Howard's the piece, so many people would have I saw a cloud. That was a photo of a cloud. It's a cloud. It's Chris Howard, the great sniper. It's Chris Howard guy guarding the skies. It came
does charge at around 2 amps, more than twice of what these previous ones have, including power free. It can focus just due to this single center chip style. But realistically, I'd say this is trying to take on the past. The Walkie 2160 that we bought previously for $70, as their newest 2162 is about $100 in 2000. Frankly, this is just entirely subjective, of course, so feel free to ignore this if you're the data. Fast where I can charge fast up to 2.5 amps. The purchases above around the 300 million mark. Yeah, we were able to confirm by light years old hard. Quality of quarters is cheap. Provided the industry during the 1983 console crash.
Yeah, but they...
The latest expires inside the cabinets were built with console memory, and so they were kept constantly. This doesn't mean down as well as everything else successful. Of course, it's successful for computers and consoles, but if you want to describe experience on the we only needed were ambitious. The 86 computer versions tried the best, but before the computer came, the NES port released in 1990 was a slow, clunky, side-scrolling platformer. That was nothing to do with the original. The Pixel art was some of the best at the time, but the itself was also selling Disney by giving you a quality of art.
Now what do they need me for? Tell me robot costs $11 million and it kills people? Ben, jump.
Hi, Ben.
Just one dance, and I have been ordered to Jackson. Be ready for the jump. Oh yeah, you do.
Ladies and gentlemen, objective completed.
Why don't you turn that lamp on? You have no light.
Introducing your host, Dr. Ford.